It's always good to see you, Romeo. Now, look, getting right into it. You
It's
once
always
had...
good to see y'all.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
But I heard you had the chance to join Beyonce on stage, and you said no. What happened?
I think I'm the only dude in America who ran away from Beyonce. Look, this is what happened. I was like probably 14 years old. You know, we grew up in H-Town when we moved from New Orleans, so we was always pretty close with their family. Shout out to Solange, you know,
Yes.
Tina. Amazing people. But yeah, when I went to her concert, she was like, look, you could come on stage when I do the cater for you dance and all that stuff. I was just being a little kid and I ran away. I was just afraid.
Yeah.
You were 14. That
Like,
makes perfect sense.
Yeah. I think that's the cool thing. When I was little Romeo, like, I don't care how much success I had, how much money I had, I was still a little kid.
That's
You know? And it wasn't like I was like, yeah, I want to go on stage and make sure Beyonce, you know, dance on me. It was like, I'm actually a little bit afraid, you know? But yeah,
That's real.
that couldn't have been now, though, baby. I'll be like this.
I love that. Okay, so you're a good-looking guy, and you are single.
You think so?
Yes,
Really?
we all do. We think you're so handsome.
Thank
And
you.
you're nice and you're kind. So we want to know, speaking for the ladies out there, are you spoken for?
I'm at this point in my life where it's tunnel vision. And I think I've lived enough life to know that I never want to be in a position where I make a woman fall in love with me and I can't catch her. You know, so
Oh, wow.
it's one of those things where I'm really focused. I've never gave 110% to myself. I have these conversations with God. It's like, look, just focus on you, and I'm gonna send that right lady there.
Yes.
You know, but it's just one of those situations where it's like, you know, Romeo is still looking for his Juliet, but it's not about the end game for me. I feel it's perfect timing. I mean, George Clooney gave me hope, right? George Clooney got married. There's hope for everybody.
That's true,
Okay.
yes.
It's all
That's a
time.
real man.
Yeah.
I appreciate
I like
that. Now, you've grown up in the music business with Mac Miller recently passing and Demi Lovato's overdose. Many young artists may be silently struggling. How did you avoid these pitfalls?
Yeah, first off, shout out to my parents, shout out to my
Yes.
pops, Master P.
Yeah.
That definitely helped.
Good parents.
Having strong parents in your life definitely helped. But it's been there since the late 1700s. I mean, the pursuit of happiness. I mean, Thomas Jefferson wrote about it in the Declaration of Independence. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
You better quote Thomas Jefferson.
You know, people think that happiness is correlated with money, with possessions. And I just literally posted on my Instagram this quote from Bob Marley where he's like, possessions make you rich. So people see the success. We live in a social media world where we think that means happiness just because you're popping physically, you know, possession-wise in the bank. That doesn't mean your soul is rich.
Yep.
And that's what I learned from a little kid from day one. You know, I had a figure like Master P in my life where I seen he did so much for people. But at the end of the day, the reason my dad was always so happy because he was doing it for him. You know,
great.
you can't worry about what other people say out there.
Yeah.
And you know, R.I.P. Mac Miller, because he was fighting a battle that nobody really knew about.
Right.
You know, I knew some people close to him where it's like even the women in his life, you know, Ariana Grande, it's like it's hard to deal with somebody where you know they're on the edge of, you know, taking their self out.
Yeah.
I've dealt with that with my family where it's like I could be the most positive person in the world, but that doesn't mean your brother or sister or your cousin or your best friend or your boyfriend or your girlfriend is going to have that same mentality.
Yeah.
So
Right.
make sure we check up on our friends,
Yes.
you know, and at the end of the day, all we can do is pray. Like, God is the key, truly.
Yep. I see you.
God
What
is
would
the key.
Jesus do?
Yeah.